going on, guys? I very quickly want to go through how getting a $20,000 loan allowed me to create a six-figure business. So at the end of 2022, because this is 2023, I had lost six figures in crypto, and I was making all of my money off of crypto. I turned $8,000 that I made working as a server, a waiter, until COVID happened. And then I leveraged that $8,000 whenever COVID started. I think it was like 2020 in March, April, May, something like that. You guys comment below if you know. And I leveraged that $8,000 to never ever work a job ever again. And that $8,000 turned into about six figures, mid to high six figures. And then I lost so much of it because I hadn't actually learned much while going through making all of this money in crypto. It was just pretty much just like anybody who could figure out how to create a MetaMask could throw money at any coin and make a bunch of money. So then I realized, well, gosh, I don't want to work another job again. I'm going to need to figure out how to set myself up so that I never have to trade my muscle, right, working a physical job, physical labor, for money. So what I did was start investing into courses and start doing a lot of research. I tried, and this goes into more things that I failed as an entrepreneur. There's such a long list by now, but there are things that I even forget. I put over 300 hours into learning how to code. I learned HTML, I learned CSS, I learned Java, I was learning Ruby, I was learning Python. I was like, I'm gonna be a coder. I'm gonna be a coder because at least I get to chill and I can work from anywhere. I could be a digital nomad. And I hated coding. As soon as I started learning, I'm like, this is garbage. But I bought a course and I started learning it, and I realized this is garbage. So then I bought another course for copywriting. And to do this, what I had done was, well, crypto is really, really far down. I don't want to use my money to buy the course, because if I use my money, then I'm going to have to take it out of income generating assets, because I know that this crypto, all of the things, my entire investment portfolio was going to go back up. And so instead, what I had in my investment portfolio was probably about $20,000 at this time. So instead I said, well, why don't I just take out $20,000 of a loan at a 6% annual percentage rate, right? So I'm paying 6% on, I don't care, because I can make more than 6% return on investment over the 4 years that I have to pay this back. I'm paying like $600 every single month. I can do that. So I took that $20,000 and I started investing in courses and paying my rent and paying my bills. And what happened is I spent $2,500 on a copywriting course. I paid some bills. I bought the coding course. So I spent around like $5,000 to $6,000 learning, and then everything else was going into bills. And then before that ran out, I had leveraged this copywriting course. I was crushing it. I networked with the guy who created it, and he said, dude, you should go chat with this guy. So I went to go chat with this guy who turned out to be the Fruitarian, aka Ted Carr, aka my millionaire mentor. And we jumped on a Zoom and we freaking hit it off. And he goes, dude, why don't you just come kick it with me? I said, yeah, sure, let's do it. So he started teaching me how to become an appointment setter. He said, you ever been a setter? I said, no clue, never done it. I said, okay, let's do that. And he said, you ever done a discovery call? I said, nope. Okay, let's do that. You ever been a closer? Nope. Let's do that. So I learned how to do sales, and then I ended up doing six figures this year off of a $20,000 loan. So before that loan had ran out, I had created a job, found a job that paid me commission-based and allowed me to scale, and also allowed me to create a system that pays me whether I'm working or not. Because 7.5% commission gets paid to me for appointment setting, and another 2.5% gets paid for discovery calls, and then another 10% for closing. But even if I don't do any of that, now that I've done it all, I've built out a team. I went around and I hired a team so that I get 5% commission just for making sure that everything that they need to do is done. So now I don't have to work. I work maybe 2 hours of freaking a week if I wanted to just do managerial positions, but I still enjoy closing, and I enjoy building out more systems because I can know that I can continue building out systems that will pay me forever, and then delegate them completely so that I'm making a full-time income. I want to be making over $1 million a month that I don't have to do anything for. And then I can pay out my team, and then I'm left with $500,000 a month. I'm cool with that. Even $750,000 a month, I'm cool with that. So utilizing a loan has not only allowed me to get into this space, allowed me the mental capacity to not worry about cash and just focus on learning. All of those assets that I did not sell, instead I took out a loan against them. Well, not against them, but I took out a loan out of my great credit, 800 credit score. It's like $50,000 right now. So I used $20,000. I didn't spend the $20,000 I would have, and then I made a $30,000 on top of that from the investments going up, and I made over 6 figures this year off of this new job that I've been crushing it at. And now I'm going into the new year with the ability to systemize all of this, where I'm working. I'm working when I choose, because I'm making money off of just building it out. I've already built out a system that's paying me 5% of 100,000 is about $5K a month just for running the systems. And then I like to make money, so I do closing on top of that. I optimize on top of that. I increase our MRR from our contentpreneurs group on top of that. So now I'm making more and more and more and continuing to build out the system. So the moral of the story here is, don't think of money in the way that most people think of it, as, okay, I've got some money and I'm gonna buy stuff. Don't buy stuff. Don't buy more liabilities. And that's the baseline that most people will tell you. Don't buy liabilities. Don't buy a fancy car. Don't buy a house. Well, really don't. But I mean, even on a smaller scale, do it. Like buy them, but make sure you're putting some money aside, and then leverage the credit that you have to then invest into courses that are then going to pay you dividends. And don't sell your investment portfolio. If you've got $100,000 or even $10,000, right, on a lower scale in crypto or in stocks or in something that you are positive is going to give you a return on investment, don't sell it to pay your bills. Take out a 10K loan and then just rock with that. And if you do the math correctly, that 10K should be worth 12K, 13K, 14K. So on a small scale, it might not seem like much, but imagine when you're doing $100,000, or even you got $1 million in an investment portfolio. That $1 million is going to get a 50% return on investment over the year. That's $500,000, but you got $1 million bill. Are you going to take that money out and be like, here, I'm going to pay for the house in cash? That would be absurd. That would be absolutely absurd. Just take out a loan, $1 million loan, and now you're going to pay 6%. So you're going to pay, what, $60,000 on that? But you're going to make $500,000. So now you're getting $494,000 in profit. That's pretty freaking sick. Another example, I went to go buy my Tesla, and I could put down, I think I put down like $5K, and it was a $50,000 car, so I'm paying off $45,000. I think it was only $40K. I think it was a $40K car, put $5K down, so I'm paying off $35,000 over like a 5-year period. Dope. I chose the longest period, and I'm paying it like 6% APR, and I can actually get that reduced now if I really wanted to. That would be an intelligent move. I could refinance through the banks, because I financed through Tesla, so I could get that down to 3%. Whatever. My friend went to go get a Honda Civic Sport, and he paid $20,000 cash. And I said, dude, what are you doing? And he said, well, I just like to pay things off. Well, then an opportunity came, and I could have paid my car off, right? An opportunity came where I told him, I said, dude, this is going to make us a ton of money. You want to invest? And he goes, I don't have any money. I spent it all on the car. Well, I had $20,000 lying around. So I took the $20,000 that I could have invested into my car and just paid it off. Actually, I took like $35,000, because that's what I would have spent on the car, and I put it into an asset that then more than doubled, and I made way more money. I told him, like, yo, dude, you could have done this, and he still didn't shift his perspective of, oh my gosh, I could have made doubled that and then paid off the car afterwards, or even continued to utilize the asset and then slowly pay things off, because money is going down. The quantification, the level of money, quantitative easing, right? The inflation that is happening, money's worth less and less. So I would rather have $100 now than $100 later, because that $100 next year is going to be worth $97 in reality. So keep that perspective. Don't go out. Don't think it's cool to go buy things in full. Don't be afraid of student debt. Don't be afraid of loans. Don't be afraid of any of that stuff. And it's difficult to comprehend sometimes It was definitely difficult for me. Like, using myself as an example, I didn't understand it until I just said, screw it, I'm gonna try it. And then I learned on the fly, oh, this is why people do it. I wasn't sure until I did it and I took out the loan, and I was scared taking out the loan. I'm like, oh my God, this goes against every single thing that I've been taught in my life. Well, I grew up in middle class, so that makes sense because this is some higher class. You listen to Myron Golden, you listen to Grant Cardone, and they're in the upper echelons, and they're doing it. So start copying and emulating what the successful people are doing. You guys are gonna find success. Now, there's a lot of stories in there and a lot of pieces, a lot of nuggets of gold. I hope you drew something from that. That's how I turned a $20,000 loan into a six-figure agency, and how I'm and then I'll have some more stories for you guys in the future. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.